Welcome to the Facts That Matter. I'm Erin Wilson. Today I want to share with you 3 facts about mergers and acquisitions in the security industry. I want to welcome Dave Sylvester, industry expert in mergers and acquisitions. Welcome, Dave.
Hi, Erin. Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. Now, let's get to the facts. It's a fact that mergers and acquisitions overall increased from $3.5 trillion in 2020 to $5.8 trillion in 2021. That's up 64%. It's a fact that 75% of small businesses do not have a succession plan. It's a fact that mergers and acquisition activity for the security industry is expected to remain strong in 2022. So now for our questions. So first question I have for you, Dave. Every week, it seems I'm reading about another merger or acquisition in the security industry. Larger distributors acquiring smaller distributors. Is the distribution channel consolidating to a few, much like the manufacturers have?
Every day there's an announcement out there. It's hard to even keep up with all the activity going on, both on the distribution side, and particularly the distribution side, but also still on the manufacturer side. You know, I talk about on the manufacturing activity, I say we're kind of in the 9th inning there. It's slowing down. There's just fewer opportunities, independent companies to be acquired. On the channel side, whether it's security integrator or door and hardware system supplier, I think we're in the 3rd inning. It's really just getting started. There's a lot of momentum behind it. There's a lot of money behind it. And I think we're going to continue to see consolidation on the channel.
So why are the smaller distributors selling out to the larger ones?
I mean, what's driving all of this activity at the end of the day is demographics. It is the fact that many of these business owners are reaching retirement age and they want to sell the business. They're looking for a transition strategy. And that's really the root of it. You combine the fact that many of the demographics and the fact that there's a lot of money trying to get into this industry, and the industry is overall seen as a very attractive, high return business. So it's the demographics that create the opportunity, and it's the interest and money behind it that's actually making it happen.
So will this change how the security industry functions in a few years? Perhaps becoming a lot more comprehensive or competitive? Yeah,
it's certainly going to change. I think we'll see some of the larger distributors. A couple things are going to happen. I think the business model that we're seeing evolve is the total opening model, where these companies more and more have the competency of being able to do full access control and video security systems, as well as the doors and hardware systems. So they really are competent in both Division 8 and Division 28. I think that's going to be the model that really wins in the future. I think we'll see the bigger companies get the bigger jobs, and some of the smaller independent companies may get relegated to just the smaller projects. So that's what I see happening in the future.
So for all that matters, what matters the most?
Well, that's a tough one. I think that what matters the most is the companies creating healthy business models. I think the private equity-backed companies are going to. Their challenge is if I've acquired multiple companies, what's my strategy to knit them together? What's really changed as a larger company versus the independent smaller companies? Do you really have a plan? Have you changed anything in your business model? I think the most interesting thing happening right now, what really matters, is that we're seeing more and more companies develop a business model that is a total openings model, meaning that the company can take care of access control, video, installation and service, as well as the doors and hardware, and create a total package. So I think we're seeing that business model occur from traditional door and hardware companies by integrators. Cook and Boardman's a great example. They've acquired several security integrators and have now positioned themselves probably in the top 10 security integrators in the marketplace. So some are acquiring, some are creating the skill set organically. Some saw this model years and years ago and have been building it. But I think what really matters is the companies that I think is going to be a successful business model in the future is that company that can do the entire opening, access control, video, and most of all, be able to service the customer.
Yeah, I remember back when on the door hardware side with the hollow metal and the wood, one supplier did the hollow metal, one did the wood, somebody else did the aluminum, somebody else did the hardware. And there was always a lot of finger pointing, if you will, that it was this one's problem or that one's problem. But as those all came together and were supplied by one supplier, a lot of those problems disappeared for the contractors, for the owners. It was all taken care of by one person. So all the access control and all that, we right now we still have a lot of finger pointing going on. So maybe this, these mergers coming together, this integration coming together with all those parts will help eliminate that and bring a better product for the owners and the end users.
I agree. I think it will. It certainly has that potential. We always talk about particularly the doors and hardware being less than 5% of the cost of the total project, but 98% of the headaches when it's time to get the CO. So having one person, one company to deal with should really help that.
Yeah, that ought to make the general contractors happy that they only have to call one person to figure out any kind of issues or problems and provide a good solution for the owners.
Yep, that's right.
Do you have any final thoughts before we go?
No, we're just in a terrific industry. As you said, the M&A is not going to slow down. There has been a little bit of a slowdown on the security companies that are residential focused. There's been some backing off of the financing available for those, and the valuations of those companies have come down a little bit in the last couple of years. And a lot of that energy then has shifted over to the commercial side of the business, where there's just a huge amount of interest, there's a huge amount of money out there, and it's a great space, great time to be in this security space. It's, as we all know, it's the need for a safe and secure environment is never going to go away.
I agree. It's an exciting time, and as technology advances and gets better and makes life much easier, I think that's going to be it's a good direction. It's going to be an exciting time in our industry.
Totally agree.
Thanks again, Dave. I'm Erin Wilson, and thank you for joining us for another discussion about the facts that matter.